Hey, how's everyone doing? Peace and blessings to you all. There's something I wanted to touch up on a little bit that, might be a little, I wouldn't say controversial, but I don't think people are going to really like the subject or stuff like that. I don't know how to start, but, I pray that, the Lord leads me in this and that I make no mistakes and I'm able to get everything out that I want to get out to you guys. Um, a lot of times we tend to defend our friends and family members for their wrongdoings, knowing they're wrong, and because it's just a natural nature. It's kind of natural nature we have in us. Something that I'm going to defend my friends and family no matter what, even if they're wrong. So and that's normal in the state of mind. But or do you realize that that you may be doing those people more harm than good by defending them in something that you know they're wrong in? I mean, and also, do you ever realize that put their titles on the side, your best friends, your family members, mothers, sisters, fathers, whatever? Are you really doing them a favor by not telling them straight up, hey, you're wrong? And are you pleasing man more than God by doing that? You see, how do I say this? The day you stand before God, I stand before God, all of us, and we're judged and questioned for things we've done, and we were wrong in defending certain people because we have some kind of relationship with them, and it's just normal to protect them because you care about them. It's understandable you genuinely care about them, but and you love them, and they're like and they're family and friends to you, but in God's eyes, is that is that really acceptable still? This is why I say these things a lot. This I say a lot. There is the laws and the views of man, and then there's the laws and the views of God. Which one really matter? The day you stand before God, like, God, she was my daughter. I had to stand up for her and defend her, protect her, even though I knew she was wrong, or even though I knew my son was wrong in doing what he did, and I defended him, knowing he was wrong, but it's because he's my son. Now, if someone wants to do physical harm to your family or friends, that I understand, and we all understand that. But when it's a verbal situation, when it's more of a verb, when it's just words, is it really still right to defend them on their actions that that was wrong, just because they're your family members or they're your friends? See, God is righteous, and He knows, what's right and what's wrong, because no one's more righteous than God. You know, so I don't think that that's going to go well with God by you saying he was my son, he was my brother, or he's my best friend. I had to protect him even though he was doing wrong. Again, physical harm, you keep them from physical harm, I understand, but in terms of righteousness, what's right and wrong, and not what's right and wrong in the eyes of the world, what's right and wrong in the eyes of God. Um, that are you really picking up your cross and following Christ by doing that also? In doing that, do you think that that might affect your salvation as well? Think about it. You know, you have to deny yourself and follow Christ. You know what I mean? And by doing that, you're causing a few problems. You're pleasing man more than God. It could be affecting your salvation because you're not being right with God and honest. And three, you might be actually hurting the ones you love more than helping them by covering up for them and stuff like that. So let me get into some scriptures and see if I could break this down or explain it. Because I don't even know if I'm making much sense, but here we go. Um, Matthew 10, verse 37 and 38. See, I'm using a different Bible today, so he that remember Matthew 10:37 through 38. Um, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. So think about it. Are you in covering up for your family members or friends or whatever, are you really doing God's work? Are you really, really, picking up your cross and following God? If you really, really love your family members and friends and you want them saved, you have to tell them, no, listen, I love you, you're my friend, you're my brother, you're whatever you are to me, but you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. Because I have to look at it as a follower of Christ, I have to look at it through God's eyes, not through the eyes of the world. You know? You know, oh, but they're my brother and sister and my mother. Remember, Jesus said his brothers and sisters are the ones who do his will, the work of Christ. That's who he said. The people you're defending, are they really doing God's will? And are you doing God's will by protecting them, by basically covering up their sins? You're coddling their sins. And I know not everyone's going to agree with me this and that because it's just normal that I'm going to defend my family member no matter what. I understand that, but you know what? And I understand that and I respect that, but you know what? I respect your views, but I'm looking at it through God's views, through His work. So so that's something that really hit me. And now Matthew 16 verse 24, you can get it. Then said Jesus unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Deny yourself. Follow him. Because these people you're covering up for, they're obviously not denying themselves that they're lost and they're stuck in their sins, and they're dragging you down, affecting your salvation by you covering up for them. You know, we have to open up our eyes here and be like, God, give me your views. That's like the Bible says, you being a friend of the world, that's being an enemy of God by being a friend of the world. That's what you're doing, you know. But many Christians don't see it that way. Christians by name, not by actions. But yeah, that's how I view it. And you know what? I've been through situations where I've seen that. I don't say nothing because no matter what I say, it's not going to change your mind. I could pull out the scripture, but you know what? Unless they truly want to find out the truth and the meaning for themselves, they have to deny themselves. They have to, they have to, verse 10, 37, 38. You excuse me. Oh God. Here you go. Oh yeah. You know, you have to love basically. Love Father. You have to really love Jesus more than anyone, more than your own family, more than your own friends. You're there's a reason why Christ said those are basically what he said was his family are the ones who do his will. So I think that's something very important you should think about and meditate on those scriptures. Ask the Lord to open your eyes to that. Because something. Um, is it really worth eternal damnation? If you really love them, you'll preach to them truth. You'll preach to them Christ, like brother, sister, mother, daughter. You're wrong. Because then when you do that, you're thinking with the views of God, not with the views of the world. It can be an unpopular view, but I would like to think people understand. So, and Galatians 1 verse 10. Let's see. For do I now persuade men or God? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Christ. How can you be a servant of Christ when you're in pleasing your family members and friends, like covering up for them and agreeing with them on their wrongdoings? How is that how are you being a servant of Christ when because you're pleasing men? Well, it's my family. It's my friend. You're pleasing men. You're pleasing the world in a way. You're not being a servant of Christ. So yeah, that 10 Galatians 1 verse 10 really had me thinking. For do I now persuade men or God, or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Christ. Are you being a servant of Christ, or are you being a servant of man? At the end of the day, God is the final judge. Not your friends, not your family. You may love them to death. I know I love mine to death, but you know what? They don't determine my salvation. The Lord determines my salvation. The Lord determines your salvation. Think long and hard. Am I affecting the salvation of my friends and family by defending them in the wrong and covering their sins? And then I'm affecting mine as well in covering for them. God sees all, God knows all, God understands all. So the way I see it is, think with the views of God, not with the views of the world. There's a reason, why there's certain scriptures that make you think about that. Um, I've pleased the world a lot, and I've disappointed God a lot. But now, God's opened my eyes to certain things, and I have to realize, wow, and did I really do more harm in covering up for those people and defending their sins? Then did I really did I do more harm than good? So a lot of us are like that. But you know what? When you're born again and you think with the views of God, you see a lot and you understand a lot. It's not popular. It's not popular. Like the Bible says, where Jesus said, if the world hates you, know that it hated him first. And if it hates you because you're not of the world, don't be of the world. Be of Christ. You know, and defending friends, family for their sins when they're wrong, you're doing them harm as well. You know, a lot of us don't see it like that. Um, I really feel like God put that on my. It really, like I feel like God led me to understand all those views and to know where I should stand in situations like that. So I pray this video helped you out, and I know it might cost you friends, it might cost you relationship with family members, but you know you're in this world is going to cost you a lot, but this world is temporary. If you look at it, you're just passing by here. This is not your final destination. It is just a stop. You're on a you're on one of those out of state, buses. You're just making stop, 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 stop. This is not your final destination. This is not the final stop for you. Once once the day of the Lord comes, that's our final stop because He's the one who's going to stop us and judge us. So like I said, I pray this video helped you out. And remember, when you're defending family members when they're wrong, stop and think to yourself and pray. Read the Bible and pray. The Lord will open your eyes to certain scriptures and He'll give you the answers through His word. So don't lose your salvation and don't cost the salvation of others in thinking you're doing them right and helping them out when you're causing harm to them and you're causing harm to yourself. So The Lord's word is pure. His salvation is promised. But are you following that road to His salvation and doing what you're doing? So I pray that this video helped you out. And remember, seek the Lord in prayer. Seek the Lord through His Word. Live in the Lord each day. You're living in Him every day because you're seeking Him. Let Him open your eyes to the truth. Let Him open your eyes to the answers to the questions you're looking for. Because the answer could be right in front of your face. The Lord is throwing it at you right there, but you're so busy, in this world, in this worldly view you're living in, that you don't see the answers. So, I hope I made sense. At least some sense, I hope. But I pray this again. I'll be praying for you guys. Um, Keep me in prayer. I'm going to keep all of you in prayer. I love you all. God bless you all. And, stay in the fight, all right? The Lord is coming soon. So all praises be to Yeshua HaMashiach. Love you. God bless you all.